Hello, my name's Waynisha Smith, and welcome to my channel. And here's another Grimm episode review, and this episode name is Starcross. It is season 5, and last episode, if I'm correct, it was episode 8. Last episode was episode 8, so this one is episode 9. So anyway, I'm going to be more upbeat and loud with this review, because I now have enough time to be alone and to get my thoughts across without being rushed. Lately, I've been rushing through my reviews because my family is over, and when my family is over, I almost have no time alone, no time to actually voice what I'm thinking, no time to do my reviews. And anytime I do get a time, I have to speed it up and be a little bit more speedy and fast forward. It's a horrible system. And you as a viewer just deserve better. I mean, you already have my horrible camera, so you might as well have awesome viewing. So anyway, let's dive into this episode. This episode was just great. It was season 5 is like my favorite season of Grimm. Simple, point blank, favorite season of Grimm. Like in the beginning, I was getting tired of this Juliet gone evil thing, and I was just ready for it to be over. But just going on. Yeah, I was ready for it to be over, and I thought we was just gonna bury Juliet and move on about our season. But no, I'm enjoying Eve. I didn't think I would, but I am. And I am just enjoying this season. It's my favorite season of Grimm. I'm loving the new creatures. It's just, I wish, like I said before, I wish we had more information about them. But this episode, they gave us more information about the creature itself. It wasn't just there to be a scare factor. They gave us rituals and stuff like that of more about the fruit, more about the creatures itself. And I don't know if the producers are watching, but thank you for that. I love it whenever I'm okay with the creatures just being there for like scare or dangerous purposes and stuff like that, just to be the monster or villain. But I feel like whenever you introduce a new creature, you should really get it out what that creature is about, what that creature's history, religion, and stuff like that. And I thank you producers for doing that. And if the producers are watching this video, I would like to ask them, what are the royals? What are they? What type of vessel or creatures do the royals turn into? Like I know that I'm not sure if, I don't know if, when I go into creature profiles of Grimm Wikipedia, all I see is that they're humans. And that's cool and everything, but are you guys going to change that? Are you going to make them their own creatures? Because they seem to be more powerful than the average human, and that's confusing. So what are the royals in per se? Now moving on, I'm going to dive into this episode. And this episode, we start out with Nick is inside of this basement thing, and it's very small. He's trying to get this door open, and I honestly think that door is somehow connected to the keys, and I hope it is. Otherwise, we're spending way too. If it's not, if it's a stupid room with nothing in it and just another escape, then we are wasting our time with this door. I will hate to see this door thing go to waste. This door has the potential to have great storytelling. Do not let this door go to waste to just be another escape route. We're spending way too much time on it, if that's the case. But if it's something bigger, then let's hurry up and get that door open. I'm suspenseful. Every episode, I'm like, can we just get back to the door so we can figure out what the hell is behind that damn door? I don't know. For some reason, human beings, we can't stand it when we can't get past the friggin' door. Moving on from the door, we go to Trouble, and she's like, HW, they want people to they want Nick and his friends to be officially on their side, not just helping them because they want to. I think what HW, now regardless, they were always helping HW because it's always felt like it was the right thing for them to do. and that's great. But I'm on Nick's side and them with it when I first heard Trouble say, "We need you guys to be officially on our side," I was like, weren't we already working for you? But anyway, I guess they don't want them to just do it out of it's the right thing to do. They want them to do it because they want them to help because they want them to help not just out of their heart, but because they have to. And that's just it. And that's what I love about it, and that's why I think I'm on Nick and their side, because when I really sit down and think about it, what do we know about HW, Hadrian's Wall, other than the fact that they're fighting for some Vessin war? Yeah, that's all we know about them. We don't know officially what they stand for other than fighting this Vessin war. What else do they stand for? When this Vessin war is over, what are their intended purposes? What would they do after the Vessin war? Like, will they disband and go all their separate ways? Or will they be the new things in charge of the Vessins? And if so, what type of rulings will they have or be? And that's just it. Like, that's what makes me hesitant about Hadrian's Wall. Because I learned that Meisner is not the top dog in charge. Like, sure, he's there. He makes all the calls and shots. But he says this thing goes higher than me. So that means he's not the top dog in charge. Who is the freaking top dog in charge? That's what I want to get behind. So after that, we see this new creature, and it's called the Fucre. Usually I never pronounce the creature's name, but it seems to be like an ox creature. And they seem to be peaceful. The only time they ever mess with humans is when they want to sacrifice them to get rid of a drought. And they stop because the Grimms have been killing them all down to the last child. I wouldn't risk it. I would never do that again after finding out what Grimms do to that in the past. Like, that could still happen again. So moving on from that, I thought that was just risky. And we're going to jump forward a little bit. We see Meisner, Trouble, and Eve. They go to this place and they're killing Vessin after Vessin, trying to take one alive, but there's just so many and they're just finding it so difficult. And for some reason, no matter what, we never see Trouble in a shot where she doesn't have some type of wound on her face. I feel like we're never going to get a shot where she's just pretty nice looking and just no bruises whatsoever. We're never going to get that shot, people. And I love it. I love we have a tough female character that can take care of herself. That's just about fighting and violence and whatnot. That's not just her Trouble motivation. Let me just say that she's not a lovey-dovey character. She has no love in her heart for a guy. I'm not saying she couldn't, but I'm just glad we don't have a female character that's not chasing after some boy. And that's why I love Grimm. Female characters are not driven by romance. I mean, some of them are, but the majority of them are not. And that's what made Grimm so great. So anyway, we're moving on from Trouble and them, and they have captured a guy. And I don't know what he is. I think he's a blue bot because of his red eyes. But then again, there might be another creature out there with red eyes. And we move on from Trouble and them, and we going back to Nick and Hank. And they basically zero it down to this guy. Now, when I first saw this guy, I knew right off the bat he wasn't the one doing the killings. I believed him right off the bat when he said somebody was stealing the wood. I believed it right off the bat. Now, some of you might sit there and ask me, Renisha, how could you know that he wasn't doing it? What was your things and purposes? He seemed to be too innocent for that sort of things. And besides for that, he just didn't come out as me as a murderer and whatnot. And we learned that he's not the murderer when we see the guy from the construction place at the Black Call rally. At that time, when the episode aired, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't really know who was behind it. paying attention when they got to that part of the Black Claw rally. I know what you're saying. When you love the show, you should have been paying attention, but I wasn't. I was helping some of my family members, and I was trying to watch at the same time. And that's just it. When you're not paying attention, you miss something. But basically, I'm gonna go back to that guy. I knew it wasn't him when I first saw him, and he goes to the Black Claw rally to go get his son out of there. And as a father, I say kudos, man. Kudos. Go get your kid out of there. Because he's going to end up getting himself killed behind this mess. And it's just not worth it. It's just not. Now, as for the kid, I hate his kid. Because I don't care what group, organization you join and stuff like that. But you don't let anyone kick your father, any of your family. You don't let strangers kick your parents. I don't care what the situation is. He's a coward, and I don't like his son. And the thing is, I don't know if that's just the Black Claw effect, where everybody is drawing lines and stuff where they stand with and what they believe in, or that's just the very freaking cowardly kid. So anyway, now as for where I stand with Black Claw, people in the Black Claw movement seem like they just want to stop hiding. They just want to let the world know who they are. And I agree. They should, if they want to come out of stop hiding who they are, they should. That's just it. They should. But how you do something is very, very important. You can be behind any real good reason, anything, but if how you do it is very important. If you're killing people, innocent people, it doesn't matter what you stand for. Nobody's going to be behind you. People will, and the good guys won't stand up for you, or the good guys will stand in your ways, or people who are just neutral will stand in your way because you're killing innocent people. So, if Black Claw was to come out in a more peaceful manner, like, let's take an example. Martin Luther King, he stood for black people being treated more equally, or like any person or human being who ever wanted to change something stood for something more peacefully. And what they did is that they didn't go out and kill people. They did it more peacefully, more peaceful stuff like that. And when you do stuff more peacefully, less people will be willing to stand in your way, but you'll get more people than you could ever think of to stand by your side. And that's just it. So, I don't think Black Claw really stands for bringing back Vesson ways. I think that there's a power in charge that is using angry Vessons that want to start doing their old ways in an attempt to get full control. I think that whoever that person is just going to use the Vesson to get Adrian's wall out the way, to take over the world, and then name themselves as ruler, as these other creatures are going to be subjugated and stuff like that. Like, I don't think it'll just be the ruler Vessons and then humans. I think it's going to be the ruler Vessons that he and other Vessons on the bottom of the food chain with the humans. That's how I think it's going to go down. And that's just it. Like, that's how I feel like it's going to go down. That's why I'm with Adrian's wall. Like, Black Claw has a good reason to fight, but what they're doing makes me question everything. So I'm voting against Black Claw. So moving on from that, we go back to the interrogation with Trouble, Eve, and Meisner. And Eve is scary as hell. And I kudos the directors. They know how to do scary. You don't have to have roar, claws, and teeth and kill somebody with claws and teeth and dig into their bones and stuff like that. No, they did something very simple from taking away somebody's ability to speak, sight, and hearing. And that what I found just so freaking terrifying about this new Eve. Like, just total disregard. And I honestly feel like sometimes I wonder if Eve is truly for the good guys or the bad guys, or she's just doing whatever she wants to do because it allows her to be this angry, violent person. Like, I get it, she's a new character, but I wish I knew more about her motives. Like, why she do what she do and stuff like that. Like, does she care about the world, or she's just doing what she want to do because she wants to be this fighter and fight and kill? Like, it makes me wonder if the bad guys were to come up to her and say, hey, you can kill more and do more against the bad guys if you join against people, if you join our side, than you could ever kill with Adrian's wall. And that's what makes me make me not want to trust Eve. So moving on from Eve and stuff like that, we find out more about Black Claw. We found out about the Carrier. We found out about Lucian Petrovich. And I've been trying to find a Wikipedia page of Lucian Petrovich, and it was just a freaking nightmare. He's not up there. So I guess we gotta wait to get more information about him. But I am loving this show, and it is just great. So, as a concluding result, this episode was great, and I cannot wait for the next one. The next episode is Monroe just letting loose that wild, dark side of him. And I've been wanting to see that a little bit more often because we're at war. So I want to see Monroe in a situation where he's just raw. And I can't wait for it. So bye, everybody. You guys have a nice day. Like I said, I will be doing episode by episode instead of just reviewing the whole season. And I'm sorry this is late, but because of family and whatnot, I don't have as much time to review as I want to. So with that said, goodbye, everybody. I hope you have wonderful days and have a nice day.